Good evening. This is another time I had to do 2 takes because I was halfway through my last video and then the app updated and I lost my train of thought and I was like, no, this would have been a good one. So I'm back. It's the leader of the rideshare revolution, the realest, the funniest, the handsomest, and the beardedest driver on YouTube. And a little bit of lag there. Okay, so I saw Uberman's video and the Entrepreneur's video about striking or whatever and not driving on St. Patrick's Day. And as you all know, I'm all about realistic goals. You have to really be realistic in life. Okay? And a strike for St. Patrick's Day is doomed to fail. And I'll explain why. There's 2 reasons that I have to back up that mindset. And I'll let you guys know right now. Reason 1. Randy said in his video that the influencers and YouTube channels should all try to get the message out saying do not drive for Uber because of the shenanigans of Uber with the pay rates and all that stuff. And this is where I don't think that would work for a couple of reasons. There's only a couple of really big influencers on YouTube. And I've been saying for months that there should be YouTube channels for rideshare where, like, if you are a knowledgeable and well-informed driver in Indianapolis, next town over, right? Then you should be putting out good information about realistic earnings and strategies for your market. Don't take the cookie cutter approach to YouTube rideshare. Okay, don't try to make content for everyone. Try to make content for your market. Try to make a difference in your market. That's the approach I've been taking. So I will, like, and I always have to repeat this. I do not pretend to know anything about any other market. Any driver that says he does is a liar. I'm thinking about a certain driver. Mostly drives websites. But on that point, the website driver did make a good point in his last video, which I totally agree with. He said that, like, if you are an expert in your market, you should make a YouTube channel, right? For example, I'm an expert on the Uber side of the app, or the rideshare apps. I mean, without a doubt in my mind, I'm one of the top rated, one of the top earners, one of the most knowledgeable drivers in this city. And I try to give the best information I can to drivers in my market. But with that being said, I am not an expert on the Lyft side of the app. I've only done like 130 rides on Lyft, if that. I mean, I might be like 120. I don't know anything about, like, I've talked to some of the other drivers in the group chat about it. But I cannot claim to be an expert on Lyft. There's one driver in Chicago that I've been trying to convince to make videos about Lyft for a while, but he hasn't done it yet because he is very knowledgeable. But like Calvin said in his video, there should be an expert in each major market for Uber and one for Lyft. Why not? This isn't a competition. Like, if you think you have information that could help, that's helpful, then you should put that information out. At least in my opinion. I mean, what do I know, right? So that's when Randy says there should be influencers and YouTubers. Like, how many there's like 7 or 8 large YouTube channels for rideshare and a couple thousand smaller ones. You know, like, how is the message going to get out that quick? You know? And I'm putting myself into the couple thousand smaller ones, by the way. I know my channel's growing, but it's really, compared to some of the other channels, like, it's tiny in comparison. So that's why I think the sphere of influence, it's all from, right now I'm just seeing Randy and Kevin talk about it. I'm not seeing anyone else talking about it. So the influencers, I mean, right now it's just a couple of them, and that's just not enough. And that brings me to my second point. And for this, we're going to have a little bit of story time. Sorry, dark as hell. I remember when I got my Uber beacon. I think that was back in January. So I got my Uber beacon, or as I went to the green light hub to get the beacon, right? And there was like 40 drivers in this room. And I remember the guy that had the meeting, the guy that was running the meeting, really nice guy, really did a good job keeping his patience with these drivers, which I don't know how he did, because I would have lost my patience immediately. I'm gonna roll this light. I don't know how he kept his patience, because like I said, there's like 40 drivers in this room, right? They hand out the beacons, and he's like, all right, everyone take your beacon out of the box. Okay, first things first, take out your cell phone and go into your app store, go into the Apple store or whatever. I'm not an Apple guy, sorry. And like 10 or 12 drivers out of 40, they all raise their hands. And he's like, what's the matter? And they're all kind of looking around, and they're like, we don't have an app store. What's that? What's the Apple store? And then you could tell this guy was just like, how do you have Uber on your phone? How do you have the Uber app on your phone if you don't know what the App Store is? And yeah, this poor guy was just like, so him and the other person, the other Uber Greenlight employee, were going around to each of their phones and going into the App Store, right? Because we had to update our apps to turn on the beacons. So once everyone made sure their app was updated, the Uber app, then he had another slide on his computer, on the projector screen, and it was like, all right, everyone, go into your browser, go into your website browser. The same 10 or 12 people like raised their hand, and they're like, we don't have that. We don't. What's a browser? Right. It's like, that's when I like. So out of 40 drivers in one room, 12 were technologically illiterate. They didn't know what they were talking. Like, they didn't know how to use the apps on their phone. They didn't even know what an app was. They didn't know how to go into their browser to look up websites. And that's why I think trying to organize a strike on short, you know, in a couple days, it's not going to happen. Especially, I mean, like I said, 12 out of 40 drivers, what is that? It's like 28% in that room alone. And I'm gonna, okay, let me just say this. I'm not saying nationally. I don't know. I can't speak for every market. All I can say is Chicago, not every driver watches YouTube videos. Not every driver goes on uberpeople.net. Not every driver goes on Facebook groups. There are a good amount of drivers that will just go into their cars, go into their phones, turn the app on, and drive. They don't use strategy. They don't really know how to maximize earnings. They just go into their car and they drive. And those are the ones that are gonna, if you decide to organize a strike, those are the drivers that are gonna ruin the strike. Because you guys are all the drivers who have social media and use their phones and everything like that. Those are the ones that are going to be stuck making no money, and all the drivers who have never seen a single YouTube video about Uber are having the best day of their lives. So that's why organizing a strike in a couple days will not work. If you're going to organize a strike in Chicago, and this is just for the sake of argument, I'm not, I can't promise I'd be along for it. If you're going to organize a strike in Chicago, you would need organization, communication, and you would need people willing to volunteer their time to hand out pamphlets and flyers and stuff like that to all these drivers that do not use social media, that don't know how to use social media. All right? Hella bright. Better. There are so many drivers that have no idea how to use social media or even their apps. And those are the ones that they'll be loving a strike. They won't even know there's a strike going on. They're just gonna be like, holy crap, I'm making $60 an hour on the app. This is awesome. I'm gonna sign up more friends. Oh, check this out. You know, like, so if you want a strike, honestly, and this is just my opinion, as one of the larger, am I the largest YouTube channel for rideshare in Chicago? I think so. As you know, the largest rideshare channel in Chicago, I'm gonna say, if you want to organize a strike, you're gonna have to come up with an actual plan. You're gonna have to come up with an actual date you want to strike on, because St. Patty's Day is not gonna happen. And you're gonna need hundreds of volunteers passing out flyers and pamphlets to every driver they see with trade dress. You know, just you're gonna have to paper the fuck out of the city, because there's over 50. I think it's like 50,000 drivers log on once a month, and 10 or 12% of those drivers have no idea how to use their phones. So that's the best advice I can give. If you want to go forward with the strike, you need to. It's got to come from the top down. The biggest rideshare channels have to decide on one date, but you're gonna have to set it for at least a couple months down the line, because trying to do it in the next couple days, it's just not gonna work. Just being realistic. And that's all I got for tonight, guys. I just want to give my opinion on that. I'm feeling better than yesterday, so that's good news. A little bit of rest and relaxation does the body good. Yeah, that's all I got, guys. I'll talk to you guys next time. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to join the Rideshare Revolution. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.